Think I'm gonna go ahead and get started since it's 3:05. It's actually 2:05 on my time. I'm in Houston, so Central Time. And hopefully we'll have other folks join us. And if not, of course, the recording will be made available. My name is Dr. Christian Martell. I am the Director of High School Outreach at QuestBridge, which you'll learn more about with this presentation. I'll do a bit of an introduction about the organization for those of you that may not be familiar. And we actually do have one of our high school programs applications that are currently open. So I'll delve a little bit more into that particular program. But feel free to, as we're going along, put any questions you might have in the Q&A box. We might have some time available to us towards the end. So happy to answer your questions towards the end, and maybe even some as we go along. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. So like I said, this is really a introduction to QuestBridge. We'll start off with who we are, who our college partners are, and then I will go into the College Prep Scholars Program for high school juniors, which is the program application that is available right now on our website. It's a free online application and it closes on March 20th. So we'll go a little bit more in depth into that particular program. And then finally, I'll just kind of close this out with a couple of our resources that I will share. We offer a lot of different resources for completing the applications, but even more general resources. If you realize as we're going along that maybe you're not eligible for our programs, know that we have a lot of resources that are great for high school students to know just what it's like, applying to college, paying for college, different things like that. So I'll point you in that direction as well. So again, getting us started here, QuestBridge is a national nonprofit. We were founded back in 1994 out of Palo Alto, California, although our staff is now everywhere. Like I said, I'm currently coming to you from Houston. But really our programs help sort of high achieving students from low income backgrounds really connect with some of the top colleges in the country, MIT being one of them. And then we help students not just access those colleges, but also help them as they are students there on those campuses, for making sure that they are getting to graduation, getting that degree, and then helping them beyond that too. So we're lucky enough that we've been around, and so we have several alums who are well into their careers who we've helped connect to other opportunities like career opportunities and other things as they leave college. So a couple of kind of big stats that I love to share. We've helped around 96,000 students over the course of our since our founding. So we've had many students that have been served by any one of our programs. Specifically for the high school student population, we've had around 28,000 students and their guardians, so either parents or family members, other supporters in their life who have been lucky enough to attend some of the conferences that we put together. And those conferences I'll mention again because they are part of that College Prep Scholars Program. And then finally, like I said, we're lucky enough that we have a lot of alums out in the world at this point, and specifically, we have around 27,000 between our alumni base and those students that are currently at our college partner campuses. So really happy for that number, and it keeps growing every year. And on the slide, you'll see actually a couple of the faces of some of our scholars who joined us for conferences last year. So wanted to give you just a sense of the different programs that QuestBridge offers. The first is that College Prep Scholars Program, which the application is open. This is for high school juniors. It's really offering specialized awards and resources for juniors to kind of be set up to be top applicants in the college application process. So I won't spend a lot of time here because we'll dive into it a little bit deeper in the second part of this. Probably our premier program, if you've heard of QuestBridge, you've heard of the National College Match. This is our program for high school seniors. It is both a college admissions and a scholarship application in one. It's free, it's online, and this is the program that connects those high school seniors with full 4-year scholarships to our college partners. And we have over 50 college partners. I'll go through so you can see who they are, but like I mentioned, MIT is one of them. we're really happy to have so many great partners like MIT that students can be connected with. And then finally, when, again, kind of in the progression, when students go through the National College Match, if they are selected as finalists, meaning that QuestBridge has selected them as some of the top applicants in that year for us, they're named a finalist. And if they attend one of our college partners, either because they received a match scholarship, that full 4-year scholarship, or were admitted through other regular decision or other early options to one of our college partners, they become a QuestBridge Scholar. And our QuestBridge Scholars Network is a network of these finalists all across our college partner campuses who come together on their campuses to put on different events for each other, to be that peer support system as they're going through college. And then they also get to connect across campuses, which is really, really nice. And finally, once a QuestBridge Scholar graduates from our college partner campus, they do end up automatically enrolled in the QuestBridge Alumni Association, which is for life. So it's a worldwide network of QuestBridge alums who really help each other in navigating their careers, life after college in general. We have a lot of regional chapters all across the US that get together and do really fun things like I don't know, go to Korean barbecue and like do yoga in the park and other cool things. There's also a lot of virtual opportunities that either QuestBridge staff or our alums will put on for each other. And so it's just a really great sort of community that, doesn't just stop once you graduate college, it continues with you wherever you might go. So again, this is the full progression. I'll spend a lot of time talking about our 2 high school programs today, but knowing that one of the biggest benefits of participating in QuestBridge programs isn't just getting into college or being prepared to apply for college. It's really this idea that QuestBridge will be with you and support you along your entire college career as well as beyond once you graduate. So keep that in the back of your minds. And like I mentioned, we have over 50 partners. We have 52 currently, actually, and there are a wide range of institutions. Sort of the thing that binds them all together is that they are all committed to meeting 100% of demonstrated financial need, meaning that if they are admitting a student, they're fully committed to making sure that they are able to afford to go to their school. So that's one of the big reasons. The other big reason that kind of binds them together, I would say, is that all of these schools are truly wanting to have more diversity, economic diversity on their campuses. They want students from all types of backgrounds to join them on campus. And so that's the reason why they're able to provide these great financial aid packages for students, but also, are fully committed to supporting students when they're there. There's a lot of really great resources that they provide, programming that they provide to students if they're admitted. And so you'll see there's research universities like MIT, there's liberal arts colleges, there's women's colleges, religiously affiliated colleges, a public institution. So a little bit of everything here, but some of the top colleges in the country are on this list, and we're happy to call them partners. Now, you might be thinking, who exactly are these high achieving students that QuestBridge is looking for? So I'll go through a little bit of our eligibility criteria and see if it's something that you might be interested in or you feel like that really fits your profile. So our programs are open to US citizens or permanent residents who attend school in the US. And basically any student that is living and attending high school in the US is eligible to apply. So what I mean by that is, for international students who might be currently in the US attending a US high school, they're eligible to apply. If you're in the process of gaining citizenship or applying for citizenship, you're also eligible to apply. So as long as you're attending a high school in the US and living here, you are eligible in that regard. US citizens and permanent residents living abroad and attending high schools abroad are also eligible to apply. So if there's anyone joining us who is a US citizen and is currently studying in a different country, this program can also be for you. What we mean by high achieving is that we really look for students who are earning primarily A's in the most rigorous courses available to them at their high school. So, if your high school has a lot of APs, or maybe there's an IB curriculum, that you're engaging in those challenging courses and that you're doing really well in them. We look for, strong writers, students who are intellectually curious, basically all of the things that we know our college partners also look for when admitting students to their campuses. And we are test optional for QuestBridge. So if you haven't taken any standardized testing, that's okay. You could still apply to our programs. We do, however, encourage you to submit test scores when you have them. So if you've taken AP tests or if you've taken the PSAT, those are all things you can provide in your application to us. If you do not have test scores, that's also okay. It will not hurt your chances by any means of being selected, but it could help your chances of being selected, of course, if you have strong test scores that you would like to share. And on the slide, you'll see a couple of that kind of middle 50% of those who did report test scores to us in the past. In terms of financial qualifications, so when we say that we're looking for students from low-income backgrounds, what we mean is that, typically we see that our students are coming from households of four, with less than 65,000 annual income and minimal assets. This is by no means a cutoff or an exact limit. We see students coming from smaller or bigger households with less or more income. So, if you think that you have faced extenuating financial challenges throughout your lifetime, there is plenty of places on our applications to let us know what your unique story might say, and we are able to take that into account. So we read all of our applications holistically. That means we're looking at you within the context and within all the information that you're providing to us. So if you believe that you have faced significant financial challenges throughout your life, even if your parents are making 66,000, right? You should be able to apply, and there's plenty of room in our applications to let us know what those challenges may have been. And then the final thing is that we're really looking for, students who can demonstrate a really strong character and resilience throughout their lifetime. Oftentimes this comes up in parts of the application, like the activities section or your writing. But we're looking for those students who are using their time outside of the classroom wisely, right? They might participate in a lot of activities at their school, in their community. But they might also just be really great people who are taking care of their younger siblings at home, or doing meal prep for the full family, or translating for their parents. These are all ways that students use their time outside of the classroom for really, really good things, and we'd love to see those things. I will note we have a lot of first generation students that end up participating in QuestBridge programs. Usually, we'll see anywhere around like maybe 2/3 of students end up being the first in their families to attend college, but that is not a requirement to apply. So if you happen to be a first generation college student, great. If you're not, that's okay too. If you're meeting all of our other requirements, then this program is also for you. So, like I said, we'll spend a lot of our time kind of going through the College Prep Scholars Program for high school juniors, but I did want to mention a little bit on about our senior program. So the senior program is a national college match. Typically, this application deadline is late September, and it opens around sort of late summer, late July, early August. And this particular program is the one that offers the full 4-year scholarship with no loans and no parent contribution if you receive the match scholarship. Other benefits include, it's a free application to over 50 colleges, right? So all of our college partners are in this application. So you don't have to hunt down any waivers or anything like that. It's just a free application to use to apply to college. And then it is the only way that you can be considered for early admission to up to 15 college partners. So typically, if you're thinking about applying early somewhere, you really have to decide what one place you can apply early to. But through this application, through the National College Match, you can be considered up to 15 college partners all at once. And then it does provide multiple opportunities for admission. So, like I said, if you are getting the match scholarship, that means it's an early admission and a full 4-year scholarship to one of our college partners. But if you're selected as a finalist by QuestBridge and you don't get matched, meaning you don't receive the match scholarship for one of the partners that you ranked through our process, that's not the end of the road. You can still use your QuestBridge free online application to apply to any of our college partners for regular decision. And then many of them do offer other early options that you can take advantage of with your QuestBridge application. So it's really nice because, many students who are finalists who get matched in December, they already know where they're going to college next fall. They don't have to worry about doing more applications or anything like that. And they know that their family can afford to send them there. But other students, even if they are not matched, they know that that is just kind of the start. They have so many other ways that they could end up at one of our college partners, and they still receive all the benefits of being part of QuestBridge, like being part of the QuestBridge Scholars Network once they get on campus, and then later becoming a QuestBridge alum and utilizing all of the benefits of the association. So again, a couple of ways to being admitted, all of the benefits still transfer if you end up at one of our college partners. Like I said. Now, in terms of the, just wanting to be very clear with the National College Match, which is that senior program, that is the one that offers the full 4-year scholarship and all of the early admissions options, right? And goes all the way through admitting you to the QuestBridge Scholars Network and the Alumni Association. Now, this is the timeline for that particular program. The application typically opens in late summer and it closes in September. When the application deadline, or by the application deadline, you really have to have your full application done, meaning that your recommendation letters are submitted, any transcripts, test scores, any of that supplemental information that we might ask for is also due when the application is due. In October is when we notify those who have been selected to be finalists for the match. And then at that point, we have a ranking system. So students, if they want to be considered for a match scholarship by our college partners, will be able to rank up to 15 schools that they can match with. And in December, we go ahead and let those students who have matched with a school know exactly who they've been matched with, and they're sort of set from there. Those students that decided not to rank, so not participating in the match, or simply, did not match and want to move on to regular decision or other early options, we'll hear more about how to do that in December as well. And then in the following fall, any finalist who decides to, matriculate or end up at one of our college partners, regardless of whether it was through a match scholarship or not, will begin their journey as a QuestBridge Scholar and have all the benefits of being in the QuestBridge Scholars Network. Right, now moving on to the College Prep Scholars Program. Again, this is the program for high school juniors. I'll review a little bit about the program benefits. I'll walk us through the timeline, and the application is open now, so I'll highlight exactly all the things you should know from there. I'll talk a little bit more specifically about who we see applies to the College Prep Scholars Program. I've already covered a little bit about our general eligibility criteria, what we mean by high achieving students, what we mean by being someone from a low-income background, looking for those personal circumstances, leadership activities, activities outside of the classroom, that any student attending a U.S. high school and living in the U.S. is eligible to apply, or any student who is a U.S. citizen or permanent resident living abroad, studying abroad, is also eligible to apply. So I won't go through those things again, but there's a couple more insights that I can provide for the College Prep Scholars Program specifically. And then as part of the College Prep Scholars Program, there are several specialized awards that are also embedded in that application. And so I'll review what those awards are, talk a little bit more about what it means to apply to them and what the benefits of those awards are as well. All right, so mentioned it early on, this application closes on March 20th, similar to the National College Match for seniors. Everything is due for the application on the 20th. So specifically for this program, we do require a transcript and one teacher recommendation, preferably from a teacher, a recent teacher, either in 11th grade, so the current grade level, or 10th grade. And preferably from a core academic subject. So someone who has taught you in English or math, science, social studies, or foreign language. A teacher in those subjects can go ahead and write that recommendation for you, and that's what we prefer to see. So that recommendation and your transcript and the application would all be due on March 20th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So this program in particular provides students with awards and resources and specialized guidance that help prepare them to create very strong college applications in the fall. And I'll say that's whether or not you decide to do the National College Match. So whether or not you decide to apply to college through QuestBridge, this program could still help you become a strong applicant for any college you end up applying to, regardless of what application you use in the fall of your senior year. It does serve, however, as a notable distinction. So when you go to apply to college, it's nice, for colleges to be able to see that you've been selected to this very exclusive program, right? It's noting that you are a high achieving student amongst your peers nationwide. So it looks great for any college. It especially adds a level of distinction when you're applying to our college partners. So our college partners know exactly what it means for someone to be selected as a college prep scholar, and they like to see that when you're applying to them. It also helps provide you with a supportive community of like-minded peers, right? So other students like you all across the country who are also high achieving, who are thinking about applying to these, top schools, doing all the things they need to do to get there. And so it's really nice to be able to have that community. Maybe you're one of the only ones at your school that is even thinking about applying to any one of these schools. And so it's nice to be able to kind of tap into that really early and have those other students nationwide that could kind of be your resource, your motivation, right, as you're applying to colleges in the fall. And then I would say one of the biggest benefits of the College Prep Scholars Program is that if you are interested in applying to the National College Match, so the senior program through QuestBridge, and applying to our college partners that way, being considered for that full 4-year scholarship, the College Prep Scholars Program application that you complete now in your junior year will actually translate over to the senior year application. So a lot of the information that we require in the junior year, it will be the same, right? So if we're asking for things like your family's financial information, all of that you would have already done your junior year, and it'll simply move over into the fall senior year application. So it's saving you a lot of work. So one thing that we have noticed is that probably for those reasons, college prep scholars are nearly 6 times more likely to be selected as National College Match scholarship recipients. So put another way, those that end up doing the College Prep Scholars Program are nearly 6 times more likely to receive that full 4-year scholarship to one of our partners in the fall. So it really does give you the leg up in applying to our college partners and not just being admitted, but also getting that full scholarship through the match. So it's just a really great way of kind of starting on the college application and scholarship application process really early. And at a time when maybe it's a little bit less hectic than the fall of the senior year, when applying to college is almost all you can think about. So so it's a really nice way of just kind of taking your time with what will ultimately be your college application. So the timeline for the College Prep Scholars Program, like I said, the application is open now. So what are we on? February 29th, happy leap year. But you know, it will continue to be open through March 20th, which it will close at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. That's when everything will be due, including the transcript and the recommendation. By April, we will go ahead and announce who we've selected to be college prep scholars this year. And we'll also start to award some of those summer opportunities, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a second. By late summer, like I mentioned, the application that you've submitted for the junior program, if you decide to apply to the National College Match, we will carry that over so you don't have to input that same information all over again. You already have that head start. And then in the fall, this time in the fall of 2024, you'll be able to apply with all of that information already carried over. I think the other thing I will mention here is that whoever you ask to be your recommender for the junior program, you can go ahead and go back to them and say, you've already written a recommendation for me. Can you go ahead and submit one again for this? And oftentimes, you know, teachers will say yes because they already have it, but we'll even offer to just add a couple of things. Maybe there's a couple of things that you were awarded or did in the summertime that you want them to include in their letters. And so it's a really small ask for teachers, and you'll already have a recommendation ready to go. Great. So this is a little bit of those insights I was saying. You know, I've gone through the eligibility, who we're looking for the programs, but I wanted to share a little bit about who we actually selected for last year's College Prep Scholars Program. So in 2023, QuestBridge selected 3,518 College Prep Scholars. And this is a little bit about them. So about 83% of those who were selected came from schools where there was free or reduced price meals available to them. So they participated in that program. About 90% of them came from households that did make below that $65,000 family income number that I shared before. Keep in mind, again, we don't have absolute cutoff. So clearly 10% must have come from, you know, the household income that was above the 65,000. So just noting that. They on average had 3.94 unweighted high school GPAs. So, you know, if you know that your high school has a weighted GPA, you don't know what the unweighted GPA, just letting you know on the application, we ask for both. So however your high school reports GPA, you can go ahead and put it there. But on average, the students we selected last year had that 3.94 GPA unweighted. And then 90% of them did rank within the top 10% of their graduating class. So again, they may have come from a really small high school, a really big high school, but most of them were within that top 10%. And for those that did end up reporting their standardized test scores, the middle 50% of those who reported SAT scores was between 1290 and 1460. And then for the ACT, we had middle 50% scores of 26 to 31. So if you've taken test scores and you're looking at these ranges and you're thinking, you know, I'm in there, go ahead and report your test scores. If you feel like, you know, I'm looking at these test scores and mine are below, you know, you may not want to report. If they're above, absolutely report. That's one of the ways I like to tell students to look at these. And if you're looking at these like, I haven't taken a test score, that's okay. Like I said, it's test optional with QuestBridge, so it's up to you if you want to report, and it's okay if you haven't yet taken them. And a couple of things, I did want to go through the components of the actual application. So if you're sitting there thinking like, yes, I absolutely want to apply to QuestBridge, whether that's the College Prep Scholars Program for juniors, or maybe you're going to wait until the senior year and apply to the National College Match only, that's okay. I want to go through these application components because they're the same. So whether you're applying for the junior program or the senior program, the sections themselves, the components of the application remain the same no matter what, as does our eligibility. So the first section that we ask about is the household and financial section. This is where we're asking you to tell us a little bit more about your family situation, about the house or home that you are living in. You know, how many people are in that household? Do you have siblings? Are some of your siblings in college? Things like that. So we really want to know, you know, sort of where you're coming from. And we're also going to ask you a little bit about the finances of your household, right? And so income and assets will be asked here. If you are coming from a sort of mixed family, you know, your parents are divorced, we'll ask about both households. So there's spaces in our application to go ahead and let us know. Maybe there's shared custody there. There's all types of different households that we see. And so just know that there's plenty of spaces there. If you feel like there's a unique kind of household that you're coming from, or you have very specific questions about the finances, we do have a lot of resources available to you, which, like I said, I'll cover towards the end here. But you can also always reach out to us directly for any specific questions you might have. The next section is the academic section of the application, and this is where we're asking you to provide a transcript, and unofficial is fine. We'll ask you information about your high school, maybe you've attended multiple high schools, so you'll let us know all of that there. And then we'll ask you to talk a little bit about your coursework. So for the College Prep Scholars Program for juniors, we're asking you to input specifically the courses that you're taking this year. So your 11th grade courses. And then for the National College Match, we'll ask you about your 12th grade courses. The next section is testing and honors. This is where if you do have those standardized test scores, you could go ahead and let us know about them. So you could input the scores. You could also upload those test score reports, or screenshots of those test score reports are fine too. We'll also ask you to report any honors or awards. These could be honors and awards at the school level, you know, things like a honor roll, or any you know, special award that your school might give, or it could also be things that you've gotten in the community, like regional awards. Maybe you participate in band and you've been selected for the all-state choir or all-state band. So those types of awards are the ones we're asking for in that section. Then, like I said, for the College Prep Scholars Program, we do ask for one recommendation, preferably from a teacher teaching you in a core academic subject. And for the senior program, that ask goes up to 2. So you'll ask 2 teachers, preferably teaching you in 11th or 12th grade, and teaching you in a core academic subject as well. And then the next section is the writing section. So for the College Prep Scholars Program, we actually have interactive writing exercises this year. So it's not a full-blown sort of college essay. It's sort of these shorter essay writing prompts that you will fill out. For the senior application, we typically do ask for essays and short answers for the writing section. And then we'll ask you about what you do outside of the classroom. So your activities, what clubs are you involved in, any volunteering you've done, if you've been part of a sports team, or you have additional family responsibilities, right? You're the one who is in charge of taking care of your elderly siblings or grandparents or something. Those are all the places that you can let us know what you're doing with your time outside of class. Many of our students do hold part-time jobs throughout the school year, or even full-time jobs in the summertime. So if you've done any paid work, that's the place to tell us. I'll also note that many of our students participate in other college access programs. So, thinking about whether you've done MIT Blueprint, like that is something you want to go ahead and tell us. Maybe you've participated in other programs affiliated with MIT. You want to go ahead and list them there as well. So like I mentioned, the College Prep Scholars Program does have several benefits associated with it. Everyone is getting specialized guidance and resources to apply. I'll note that all of these sort of the programming that goes along with the College Prep Scholars Program is asynchronous and mostly remote. So what it means is that you can actually do the College Prep Scholars Program and still have time to do other things. So if you're looking to take classes in the summertime or have a part-time job, you can still do all those things and still receive the programming and benefits of the College Prep Scholars. We also offer, like I said, that sort of online community and access to peers all around the country who are also College Prep Scholars. So they come from similar backgrounds and are also looking to apply to these top colleges. And it's really nice to see, I think, for a lot of students that have gone through the College Prep Scholars Program, they'll meet someone on, in our online community in their junior year, and then they end up with them at college, right? They end up being roommates, they end up being in the same dining hall. And it's someone that they met really early on through this program. So it's nice to see that continuation even once you get into college. And then every single one of our College Prep Scholars is also invited to either an in-person or virtual National College Admissions Conference. So QuestBridge has been putting on these conferences since somewhere around the mid 2000s, 2005, 2006. But these are one-day conferences. If they're in person, they're at one of our college partner campuses, where you're invited to come and bring a guest. You bring, a parent or a sibling, whoever's in your life that wants to support you in this, with you. And your food is included. You're there all day. You're getting workshops and sessions from admissions representatives and from QuestBridge application readers, basically, sharing tips and tricks to get you to have that strong application in the fall for college. There's also a college fair, which is that picture on the right bottom corner here that you see. So there's a college fair there, and our college fairs are really great because they have representation from each one of our college partners. So it's really hard to get, 52 of the top colleges all in the same room at one time, but we managed to do that at every single one of these. The virtual college fair is the same in terms of getting the same workshops and resources throughout the day. It's a slightly shorter virtual experience. But there is a college fair there as well. And what's really cool about the virtual is that there's also these opportunities for one-on-one meetings with the admissions representatives from our college partners. And often what we see is that the admissions representatives at all of our national college admissions conferences are actually those representatives that will be reading the applications of QuestBridge students. So it's not just anyone who works in admissions at that school, it's the people that will be reading your application are the ones that you are meeting with face-to-face at one of these conferences. So I think, they're obviously pretty great for a lot of reasons, but that's probably one of the top ones for me every time I share with others. So those were all the benefits available to every single person who's selected as a College Prep Scholar. But through the College Prep Scholars Program application, you can also apply for additional opportunities. So you could be considered for additional awards, such as full scholarships to college summer programs. This year, we have 9 of our college partners who are offering these on-campus college summer programs. And so there's a lot of different topics and themes and academic interests that you can sort of look through on our website for the ones that are being offered this year. But some of the ones this year hosting are Rice and Stanford. And I know one that's always really popular is like the Young Global Scholars. Some of you might be looking into these college summer programs on your own already. Maybe you've already applied. That's okay. We always encourage students to, if they really, really want to do one of these college summer programs, to apply on their own and also apply through QuestBridge. The worst that can happen is you get in through both and your entire summer is covered no matter what. So you're doubling up your chances of getting admitted into one of these by doing both applications. But even if you haven't applied on your own, you can still apply to be considered through QuestBridge as well. We also offer Quest for Excellence Awards, which are $1,000 grants for college prep resources, meaning that you're getting $1,000 that you can use and be in whatever you'd like to prepare you for college. So a lot of students will use this for getting a laptop or an iPad that they're using to apply and fill out those college applications in the fall. But you could also use it for things like SAT or ACT prep. Maybe there are college partners that you want to go see on your own, so you can actually use that money to go and do a couple of college visits in the summertime on your own with your family. So there's a lot of ways that you can use that $1,000, but ultimately it's all getting you to be a stronger applicant for our college partners. We also offer an exclusive college essay workshop that's facilitated by QuestBridge application readers. And so This is an opportunity that's virtual in July for a select group of students to come together and really work on their college essays together, receiving constant feedback from application readers. So just a really great way of, again, enhancing your application for the fall. And in case it wasn't clear, so all of these additional opportunities for College Prep Scholars are embedded in the application. So when you fill out the College Prep Scholars Program application, towards the end, you'll see all of these different awards, and you'll be able to select which ones you want to be considered for. As long as you're meeting eligibility requirements for them, you can be considered for as many as you would like. So really have a lot of options here. You don't have to choose between, the essay workshop and the Quest for Excellence Award. You could apply to as many as you'd like. All right, now I've shared a lot about our programs, who QuestBridge is, talked a lot about the College Prep Scholars Program in particular, since that is the application that's open. But I want to just close this out here with a lot of the sort of support and going through the resources that we provide. So you're not going through this alone. When you start one of our applications, you immediately start to receive information from us, making sure that you have all that you need to be able to apply and finish your application. We know, especially for those that are considering the College Prep Scholars Program as juniors, that this might be the first of this type of application that you're doing. It really is a mini college application. And so you might have a lot of questions as you're going through. So we don't leave you hanging. We have a lot of resources and support to make sure that you're understanding the program and understanding the application and what's required. So just to start an application, if you haven't already started one, you want to go ahead and go to QuestBridge, to the QuestBridge website. And the application website URL specifically is apply.questbridge.org. Once you go there, you just register with an email address that you check regularly. And pro tip is that you should probably use an email address that is not your school email address for two reasons. One, sometimes school email addresses that you might already have a lot of like firewalls and things like that. So we want to make sure that you're for sure going to get emails after that. And that's one way of minimizing that chance. And then the other reason is that actually when you start applying to colleges, most people will tell you not to use a school email address. The reason being that you want to make sure it's an email that you'll continue to use beyond when you graduate high school, right? So, for many high schools that provide email addresses, but maybe a month after you graduate, you no longer have access to that email inbox. And so you want to have an email set up that you are using to apply to colleges, to apply to QuestBridge, other scholarships that is not associated with your school, so that you can maintain access to it even after you graduate. All right, so you've gone to apply.questbridge.org, you've started an account with your email address that's not your school email address. And then you will see that you can select that to go ahead and start an application for the 2024 programs. You want to go ahead and do that. And almost immediately after you do this, you want to think about who your recommender is. And the reason being that, you want to try and give recommenders or whatever teacher is going to be your recommendation a couple of weeks at most, right? So 2 weeks, we like to say is a good time to give recommenders. So if you're starting your application today after this, that's around the 3 week mark, 2 week mark to give them to complete that recommendation. That could be sort of the top recommendation that they can provide for you. And then you also want to start gathering any other materials you might need to complete the application. So remember that there is that finance section. So you want to let your parents or your guardians know that you might require some things like W-2s or maybe their pay stubs from the previous year if you don't have access to W-2s yet. So a lot of those materials you'll want to start gathering for yourself so that you can be ready and easily able to complete the application. That was just how to get started with the application. Once you do, like I said, we have a lot of other resources to complete the application, but this is actually a resource, even if you're not thinking about doing any of our QuestBridge programs. Our Student Resource Center on our website has a lot of information for any student who's thinking about applying to college, thinking about how they're going to pay for college. So all free resources, all on our website. Most of it is more targeted towards high achieving low income students because that's who we work with in our programs. But we have things like grade specific checklists. So if you're a ninth grader and thinking about, what do I need to do to prepare myself eventually to apply for college, we have a checklist for you to start thinking about those things, and you can see, how much you've done already and what you might want to accomplish by the end of the year. And we have a lot of other things as well. I particularly like our financial aid sort of glossary that we have. There's a lot of terms that are used by financial aid officers and offices, and that are sometimes even like just beyond, and especially now with a lot of changes with the FAFSA, you want to know what all of that lingo is. And so we have things like the financial aid glossary, income and assets guide, just a lot of really great resources that are all free on our website for you to explore. We do offer several webinars, live webinars that you could attend. On our website, you'll see a webinars link on our drop-down menu that you can always go to and see what webinars are coming up. Sometimes they're webinars on, how to make progress through your application. The ones on here are some of the ones that we've already conducted, and you can actually just go to our YouTube page and find all of those recordings for past webinars as well. We also have things called Quest Tip videos. We have YouTube shorts, all to kind of help you through the application and in different sections for those frequently asked questions that we see from students. Two particular upcoming webinars that we have are Ask You Be Anything. These are sessions where they're really informal. It's just a couple of members of our team on screen answering your questions from the chat. And then, you can stay on for as long as you'd like. You could ask your question and leave. It's really up to you how you want to use that time, but there's sort of set times for you to just come through, ask your questions in a very informal way. And we have a similar setup for educators too. So if you have a teacher, maybe the teacher you ask for a recommendation, who has questions about how to submit their recommendation for you, we'll have this live Q&A for educators that you can invite them to. All right, and then just closing off here, again, our QuestBridge College Program application is open. It is due March 20th. So if you haven't started yet, you want to go ahead and get started soon, so you could go ahead and submit on time. But if you have any questions after this, maybe you're thinking about something, or maybe they come to you once you start the app, know that you can always reach out to us at questions@questbridge.org. We also have a help portal with a lot of these frequently asked questions already answered for you. So you want to go ahead and go there, questbridge.org/askqb. Most of the questions that students have are answered on there. So if you go there and you don't see an answer to your question, go ahead and email us. That's okay. But again, most of them I think are pretty much there. But we're happy to reply whenever you do submit an email. Our sort of goal is always to reach back out to you and reply to that email within 24 to 48 hours. And as we get closer to the deadline, our team actually responds usually within 24 hours. So we're on there and we're ready to answer any of the questions that come up for you, and just want to support you through this process. So I'm going to take a look. I believe I don't see any questions in the chat, which is okay. But yeah, if any questions do come up, please just go ahead and email us or look on our help portal, and we would be happy to answer.